My dear brothers and sisters, we live in a world where it feels as though every step we take is being observed. Cameras watch us in the streets, social media records our every moment, and people form opinions without ever knowing our hearts. Yet there is a deeper truth behind this, one that the world rarely speaks of. You are being watched not only by men, but by heaven itself. Many eyes are watching you, and you'll be shocked who it is. When God calls you His chosen one, He sets you apart for a divine purpose. You are not chosen by accident, nor by the opinion of men, but by the eternal will of the Almighty. From that very moment, your life is no longer ordinary. You may still walk the same streets and face the same storms, but your path is now under heaven's attention. The eyes of the unseen world turn toward you. Angels are saints, even adversaries, for the one who carries God's purpose walks with a mark of heaven upon their soul. You become a reflection of divine light, and light, by its very nature, attracts both admiration and opposition. The chosen ones are not selected for comfort, but for calling. God's selection is not about privilege, but about responsibility. He entrusts His chosen with His word, His truth, and His Spirit so that they may live as witnesses in a world darkened by deception. When you are chosen, you cannot blend in with the crowd. You are meant to stand apart. The world may not understand you, and sometimes even those closest to you may turn against you. But you must remember, your life is being watched from above. The eyes of God are always upon you, not to condemn, but to guide. The same God who chose you will sustain you, even when the journey becomes heavy. His watchful eyes never sleep, and His hands never let go of what belongs to Him. But there is another reality you must not ignore. Being chosen also means being targeted. The eyes of darkness are fixed upon you because the enemy recognizes your potential even before you do. Satan knows that if you ever walk in the full power of your calling, you will become a threat to his kingdom. That is why temptation grows stronger, battles become harder, and moments of loneliness feel deeper once you are chosen. The enemy watches not because he has power over you, but because he fears the light within you. His gaze is full of envy and hatred, for he once stood in the presence of God but was cast down. Now he seeks to destroy the ones whom God has lifted up. Yet remember this, no weapon formed against the chosen shall prosper. The eyes of the enemy may watch, but the hand of God shields. Even people around you are watching, though they may not admit it. Your friends, your co-workers, your neighbors, they all observe how you live, how you respond to hardship, how you treat others. They are watching to see if your faith is real. Some hope you will fail, others hope you will prove that faith still stands strong in a broken world. You may never know how many souls are strengthened by your silent endurance, by your unwavering belief when everything around you is falling apart. Your life preaches louder than your words ever could. The chosen ones are walking sermons written by God Himself. Therefore walk wisely and humbly. The eyes that watch you may seek to judge or to learn, but above all, the eyes of your Creator see with perfect love. He watches not as a critic, but as a father. His gaze follows you in your failures and in your triumphs. Even when you stumble, His eyes remain full of mercy. You may think you are unseen, but heaven is watching every step you take with care and pride. Every prayer you whisper, every tear you shed, every act of obedience, all of it is known before God. In the end, the message is simple yet powerful. Live as one who is seen. You are never alone, never forgotten, never hidden. Many eyes are watching you. Some to test, some to tempt, and some to testify of God's goodness through you. But the greatest of all is the gaze of the Lord, whose eyes are upon His chosen. Let that truth give you strength to walk faithfully, to live righteously, and to finish the race with honor. The world may watch, the enemy may plot, but heaven rejoices, for the chosen ones belong to God alone. When God calls and anoints His chosen ones, He places them under divine observation. They are not ordinary men and women. They are vessels carrying heavenly fire in an earthly body. Their journey is not random, and neither are their trials. The chosen walk a narrow path, and on this path, every step is seen. Every word is weighed, every action is recorded. Many eyes are watching, both seen and unseen, for those who belong to God cannot live unnoticed. When heaven has appointed you for purpose, the whole universe watches to see how you will carry it. From the moment you say yes to God's calling, your life becomes a testimony. The angels of God are watching to assist you in your walk of faith. They surround you in moments of danger and strengthen you when you are weary. The Bible tells us that angels are ministering spirits sent to serve those who will inherit salvation. That means, as a chosen one, heaven has assigned protection around you. You may not see it, but the unseen realm is alive with divine activity on your behalf. When you kneel to pray, heaven listens. When you cry in silence, heaven moves. When you face trials that feel unbearable, the eyes of heaven are upon you, not to pity you, but to prepare you. Every struggle is shaping you for something greater. Yet while heaven watches to protect, hell watches to destroy. The eyes of the enemy are equally aware of who you are. Satan does not attack those who are spiritually asleep. He targets those who carry light. The moment God calls you, the enemy marks you. The same fire that attracts angels also draws the attention of demons. They watch your weaknesses, your habits, your emotions, seeking entry points to derail your purpose. But you must never forget that the one who watches from heaven has far greater power than the one who prowls below. The enemy may watch, but he cannot touch unless God allows it for your growth. Every temptation is a test meant to refine your faith, not to destroy it. The devil's eyes may be sharp, but they are blind to the mercy that surrounds you. What he intends for harm, God turns into strength. Then there are the eyes of the world, people who observe you daily, often without your awareness. Some watch to learn from you, others to criticize. Some want to see if your faith will endure under pressure. They may not know your prayers or your pain, but they see how you live. When you forgive those who hurt you, when you remain humble in success, when you stand firm in truth despite rejection, they are watching. Your life becomes a silent sermon, preaching Christ without words. The chosen ones are not chosen to boast, but to represent the heart of God on earth. You may never realize it, but someone's faith is being restored because they saw you hold on when everything around you said, give up, or even creation watches. The universe itself awaits the revealing of God's children. As Scripture says, the stars, the earth, the winds, all are witnesses to God's plan being fulfilled through those He has called. When you live in obedience, all of creation rejoices. When you drift into sin, even creation groans. The chosen ones are connected to the divine rhythm of existence. Their lives echo in both time and eternity. So many eyes are watching you, eyes of angels, eyes of demons, eyes of men, and most of all, the eyes of God. And perhaps the greatest shock is that God's gaze never leaves you. Even when you think He's silent, His eyes watch not with condemnation, but with love, not with disappointment, but with deep affection. He watches to remind you that you are not forgotten, not forsaken, not unseen. He knows your struggle, your devotion, and your pain. Therefore, walk worthy of your calling. Be mindful that your actions reflect heaven's kingdom. Live with integrity, speak with grace, and persevere in faith. For though many eyes watch you with different intentions, only one pair of eyes matters, the eyes of the one who chose you. And when you live to please Him alone, you will find peace, purpose, and power in your journey. The chosen ones walk under the gaze of eternity, and that gaze is filled with divine love. When you are chosen by God, your life takes on a new meaning. You no longer walk as one among the crowd, you walk as one carrying divine purpose. The chosen ones are set apart, not because they are perfect, but because God has placed His hand upon them. They are chosen not for comfort, but for transformation. And when God chooses you, heaven watches with anticipation, hell watches with hostility, and the world watches with curiosity. Every moment of your journey becomes a lesson for someone, a battle for another, and a testimony for generations to come. You are not invisible in this world. You are observed by powers and beings beyond what human eyes can see. The eyes of God are always upon His chosen. His watchfulness is not passive, it is active, protective, and loving. The same eyes that formed you in your mother's womb now guide you through every storm. He sees your pain when others ignore it. He hears your silent prayers when no one else listens. He observes the temptations you resist, the tears you wipe away, and the sacrifices you make in secret. His gaze is not that of a critic, but of a father. He watches with the affection of one who sees beyond your failures into your future. God's eyes are not searching for perfection. They are searching for faithfulness. As Scripture says, the eyes of the Lord run to and fro throughout the earth to strengthen those whose hearts are fully committed to Him. When He looks upon you, He is not counting your mistakes. He is confirming your commitment. But remember this, the moment God calls you His own, the enemy begins to watch you closely. Satan studies those whom heaven has marked. He observes your reactions, your weaknesses, and your emotions, waiting for a chance to plant doubt or fear. The enemy's eyes are not blind. He knows who carries the light. The greater your calling, the greater his attention. Yet his watch is powerless against the authority of God. The chosen ones are not defined by what watches them, but by who protects them. You may be surrounded by eyes of opposition, but above them all is the all-seeing eye of the Almighty, guarding your soul from destruction. The devil watches to destroy, but God watches to deliver. The battle is not about who is watching you, It's about who you choose to focus on. If you keep your eyes on God, no gaze of the enemy can shake you. Even people are watching you, often more than you realize. Your faith becomes a mirror through which others glimpse God. Your patience under pressure, your humility in success, your forgiveness after betrayal. These things speak louder than words. There are souls who are silently inspired by how you live. There are hearts that are softened by the love you show even when hurt. You may never know how many lives are being changed simply because you chose to stay faithful. The chosen ones preach not always with their mouths, but with their lives. Every choice you make becomes a sermon. Every act of love a verse. Every trial a testimony. You may not have a pulpit, but your life is the message the world reads every day. So yes, many eyes are watching you, the eyes of heaven, of hell, of people, and even of creation itself. The entire universe observes how the children of God will live out their calling. But the greatest truth is this: you are never watched alone. God's eyes go before you, behind you, and within you. He is not watching to find fault, but to fulfill His promise. He watches to keep you, to mold you, to bless you, and to bring you into His glory. The chosen ones are never abandoned in their journey. They are guided by an eternal gaze that never blinks. Therefore, walk as one who is seen by God. Let His awareness of you shape your thoughts, your actions, and your words. Live with reverence, speak with compassion, and act with integrity. For though many eyes may watch, only one pair of eyes will judge, the eyes of the Lord. Let His gaze be your peace, your strength, and your purpose. And when the world looks at you, may they not see your weakness, but the power of the one who called you His own. For the chosen ones are not defined by who watches them, but by the God who never looks away. When God sets you apart as one of His chosen, your life becomes a living message, a divine display for both heaven and earth to witness. The chosen ones walk through life carrying the mark of God's Spirit, and with that mark comes both attention and accountability. Whether you are aware of it or not, your journey is being observed. Many eyes are watching, some with love, some with envy, some with doubt, and others with hope. You will be shocked to know how many hearts are silently learning from the way you live. The chosen ones are not chosen to hide in the shadows, but to shine in the open, even when darkness surrounds them. The moment you accept your calling, your life ceases to be private. Heaven begins to record your obedience, your perseverance, and your growth. God's eyes never leave His children. They move with you, rest upon you, and cover you in times of fear and confusion. There are no hidden corners from His gaze. He sees every thought that crosses your mind, every word that leaves your lips, every act you perform when no one else is watching. The comfort of His presence is that you are never alone, yet the weight of His calling reminds you that your choices carry eternal meaning. The chosen ones cannot live carelessly because the eyes of heaven are upon them. Every decision they make either glorifies the one who chose them or dishonors the purpose they were meant to fulfill. But the spiritual reality runs deeper than what meets the eye. The forces of darkness also watch closely. The enemy studies the chosen not because he admires them, but because he fears what they carry. The devil knows that a single soul fully surrendered to God can shake the foundations of his kingdom. So he watches, waiting for a moment of weakness, a lapse of faith, a seed of pride. He will tempt, distract, and discourage, hoping to dim the light that God has placed within you. Yet the irony is this: the more the enemy watches, the more he witnesses the power of God sustaining you. Every time you rise from failure, every time you choose prayer over bitterness, you remind hell that grace cannot be defeated. The eyes of the enemy may follow you, but they cannot control you, for the one who watches over you neither sleeps nor slumbers. Meanwhile, the eyes of the world are watching too. People around you, both near and far, are silently taking notes. Some want to see if your faith is real, while others hope to find hope through you. The way you handle pain, respond to rejection, forgive those who wrong you, it all becomes a lesson for someone who is still searching for God. You may think your life goes unnoticed, but your endurance preaches louder than your words. The chosen ones are the evidence of God's faithfulness on earth. Every time you love instead of hate, stand firm instead of giving up, speak truth instead of remaining silent, you reflect heaven's character. You are not being watched for entertainment. You are being watched for revelation. The revelation of Christ living within you. And beyond all this, there are the eyes of the great witnesses of faith, those who have gone before you, who finished their race and now watch as you run yours. Their victories and sacrifices have paved the way, and now they cheer you from eternity's grandstand, urging you not to give up. Their eyes do not judge, they inspire. You are part of a divine continuation, a story of redemption that began long before you and will continue long after you are gone. So, chosen one, remember, many eyes are watching you. Heaven looks to strengthen you. Hell looks to stop you. The world looks to see if faith still stands in a fallen generation. But the most important truth is this: God watches not to condemn, but to complete His work in you. His eyes are not eyes of wrath, but of mercy. He watches to lift, to restore, to transform. Therefore, walk in humility, live in holiness, and move with purpose. You are not unseen. You are divinely observed. Let every action reflect the one whose eyes never leave you. For when all other eyes turn away, the eyes of your Father will still be upon you, watching, loving, and leading you into glory. When God calls you His chosen, He does not merely give you a title, He entrusts you with a mission. Being chosen means carrying heaven's message within an imperfect vessel. It means walking through fire and not being consumed, standing in storms and not being shaken, and shining when the night seems endless. But what many do not realize is that being chosen also means being watched. There are eyes, both divine and human, both seen and unseen, fixed upon you. Some watch to learn, some to tempt, some to destroy, and others to be inspired. Your life, whether you notice it or not, has become a testimony written before the eyes of the universe. From the moment you surrender to God's will, the atmosphere around you changes. Heaven begins to take record of your obedience, your battles, your tears, and your victories. God watches you not as a distant observer, but as an involved Father. His eyes are full of purpose, mercy, and love. He knows your weaknesses, yet still calls you His own. He sees your pain, yet still trusts you with His plans. Every step you take, even the hesitant ones, are noticed by Him. He does not watch to expose you, but to guide you. The eyes of the Lord see not as man sees. While others may only notice your failures, He sees the faith that refuses to die. He watches to protect, to refine, and to prepare you for the greatness He has already written into your destiny. But the eyes of darkness also watch you. The devil observes the chosen with a mixture of hatred and fear. He knows the authority you carry even when you doubt it yourself. He studies your habits, your emotions, and your reactions, waiting for a moment of weakness. The enemy's gaze is sharp but powerless against the strength of God's Spirit within you. He may watch your steps, but he cannot determine them. The same God who chose you also surrounds you with His presence. Every fiery trial you endure becomes a testimony that exposes the enemy's failure. The more he watches, the more he witnesses his own defeat. For the chosen are covered, not by luck, but by the blood of Christ, which blinds every eye that seeks to harm them. Meanwhile, the world's eyes are upon you too. Family, friends, co-workers, even strangers, all watch how you carry yourself. Some watch to criticize, others to find hope through you. When you respond to pain with peace, they see something they cannot explain. When you love instead of hate, forgive instead of revenge, believe instead of despair, they see the reflection of Christ. The chosen ones are not perfect, but their endurance, humility, and faith speak louder than any sermon. Without realizing it, you are teaching others what real faith looks like, not through words, but through perseverance. You are a living letter from God to a world desperate for truth. Even creation watches, the very heavens declare God's glory, and all of creation eagerly waits for the manifestation of the children of God. The wind that whispers through the trees, the waves that crash upon the shore, the stars that burn in silence, all of it bears witness to the unfolding story of redemption through the chosen ones of God. You are part of that divine symphony, and every obedient act you perform echoes through eternity. So yes, many eyes are watching you, the eyes of heaven, of angels, of saints, of men, and even of the enemy. But here lies the shocking truth. The most important gaze is the one that looks upon you with unconditional love. The eyes of your Father are never distracted, never distant, never indifferent. He watches you through every battle, not to punish, but to purify, not to condemn, but to confirm His promise over you. You are never unseen, never abandoned, never forgotten. Therefore, chosen one, walk worthy of the calling placed upon your life. Remember that your journey is not a secret, it is a message. When you stand firm, heaven rejoices. When you endure, hell trembles. When you obey, the world witnesses God's glory. Many eyes are watching, but only one pair matters, the eyes of the one who called you. And when those eyes look upon you, they see not your weakness, but the reflection of His grace, live every day knowing you are seen, loved, and carried by the God who never blinks. When God calls you one of His chosen, He doesn't place you in comfort, He places you in purpose. You are not chosen to live quietly, unnoticed or untouched. You are chosen to be seen, to be tested, and to be transformed in the sight of heaven and earth. Whether you realize it or not, many eyes are watching you. The moment you receive the mark of divine calling, your life becomes a living testimony, a message that speaks louder than words, a flame that both illuminates and exposes. You will be shocked to know who watches you, for it is not just men and women on earth, but spiritual powers, heavenly hosts, and even the eyes of the Almighty Himself. The chosen ones live under divine observation. God's eyes are not distant. They are intimate. He watches every detail, not to criticize, but to complete His work in you. His eyes see beyond what others see. He sees your struggles, your motives, and your heart. He watches how you respond when no one else notices, how you endure when the world turns away, and how you forgive when bitterness would be easier. His eyes are filled with mercy, not judgment. He does not watch to catch your failure. He watches to guide you toward victory. Every tear you shed is seen, every prayer you whisper is heard, and every step you take in faith is recorded before His throne. You may feel alone, but you are surrounded by the watchful gaze of divine love. But heaven is not the only realm that observes the chosen. The eyes of the enemy are fixed on those whom God has set apart. Satan studies the chosen ones carefully, because they are a threat to his kingdom of darkness. The more anointed you are, the more the enemy will try to watch, tempt, and confuse you. He will use people, circumstances, and fears to draw your eyes away from God. Yet no matter how many eyes of evil watch you, none can overpower the protection that surrounds you. The same God who allows the storm also commands it to serve His purpose. Every attack, every delay, every moment of darkness is watched and measured by heaven. The devil watches to destroy, but God watches to deliver, and His eyes never lose sight of His promise. Then there are the eyes of people, the silent witnesses of your faith. The world watches you more closely than you imagine. Some watch to see you fail, others to see you rise. Some watch with doubt, others with hidden admiration. You may never realize how many lives are being touched by your perseverance. Every time you choose love over anger, hope over despair, faith over fear, someone learns what real strength looks like. You are the evidence that God still changes lives. The chosen ones are living sermons, walking reflections of divine truth. You may not preach with words, but your endurance, kindness, and faith are preaching louder than any voice could ever reach. Even the saints and angels are watching. Those who have run their race and reached glory now watch as you run yours. They cheer you on, waiting to see you finish the race of faith that they began. The angels of God surround you, not merely as protectors, but as witnesses to the unfolding story of grace within your life. You are not walking this path unnoticed. Heaven itself watches with joy as you overcome every obstacle by faith. So yes, many eyes are watching you, and you will be shocked to know who they are. The eyes of heaven see your strength. The eyes of hell see your threat. The eyes of the world see your example. But only one pair of eyes truly matters, the eyes of your Creator. His gaze defines your worth, directs your journey, and delights in your obedience. Even when you fall, His eyes never turn away. He watches to restore, not to reject. His watchfulness is your assurance that you are never alone. Therefore, chosen one, live with awareness and humility. Walk with the confidence that you are seen by God and covered by His grace. Let every action reflect His light and every word carry His truth. Many eyes may watch you with judgment, envy, or confusion, but live for the one who watches you with love. When all other eyes fade away, His gaze remains eternal. For the chosen ones are never forgotten, never forsaken, and never unseen. They walk under the watchful eyes of heaven, and those eyes will guide them all the way home. When God chooses you, He sets you apart not to be invisible, but to be influential. You are not called to blend in. You are called to stand out. You are not chosen to live quietly in the shadows, but to shine as a reflection of His glory in a dark and watching world. From the moment heaven's hand touches your life, everything about you changes, your battles, your blessings, and your visibility. Many eyes are watching you, and you will be shocked to know who they are. Heaven, hell, and humanity all turn their gaze toward those whom God has chosen. For the chosen ones carry something the world cannot ignore, the presence of God. The chosen life is a life lived under divine observation. The eyes of God are constantly upon you, not as a judge looking for fault, but as a father watching over his child. He watches you with compassion when you struggle, with patience when you stumble, and with pride when you stand again after every fall. His eyes are never blind to your pain, never indifferent to your tears, never distant from your battles. When the world misunderstands you, He sees your heart. When you feel alone, His eyes are the proof that you are never unseen. The Almighty watches not because He doubts you, but because He delights in you. His gaze is a covering of love, that follows you in the valley and celebrates you on the mountain. Every prayer you whisper, every act of faith you take, every sacrifice you make in silence, heaven sees it all. You are never forgotten under his watchful eyes. But just as heaven watches, so does the enemy. The devil's eyes are fixed upon the chosen because he knows they carry the authority of heaven within them. He fears what you will become once you realize who you truly are. He watches your weaknesses, your reactions, your emotions, searching for a way to plant seeds of doubt or fear. Yet even as he watches, he trembles because he knows the one watching over you is greater than him. Every attack he plans is already seen by God, and every trap he sets becomes the tool God uses to strengthen you. The eyes of the enemy may be filled with hate, but the eyes of the Lord are filled with power, and those eyes will never allow the chosen to be destroyed. The devil can watch your path, but he cannot rewrite your destiny. Meanwhile, the eyes of the world are also upon you. People observe you more than you realize. They watch how you live, how you handle pain, how you respond when life becomes difficult. Some are waiting to see you fail, while others are secretly drawing strength from your faith. You may never hear their words, but your endurance speaks to their hearts. When you remain kind in the face of cruelty, they see the reflection of God. When you forgive those who wrong you, they see the power of divine love. When you refuse to compromise your integrity, they see the reality of your faith. The chosen ones are not chosen to impress people, but to inspire them. Every act of obedience becomes a message. Every trial you overcome becomes a testimony. The world may not say it, but your faith is preaching even when your mouth is silent. And beyond all these, there are the eyes of the saints and angels who have gone before you, witnesses of heaven who watch the chosen run their race. They see the continuation of God's story through your life. You are part of a divine lineage of faith, a living link between what was and what will be. The great cloud of witnesses watches not to judge, but to encourage, not to criticize, but to cheer you on toward the finish line. So yes, many eyes are watching you, the eyes of God, of angels, of people, and even of the enemy. But the most important truth is this: you are watched with love, not with condemnation. God's eyes are not searching for your downfall, they are fixed on your destiny. His watchfulness is your assurance that you are never abandoned, never unprotected, never alone. Therefore, chosen one, walk boldly, speak truthfully, and live righteously. Remember who you represent and who watches over you. Let every word you speak and every step you take reflect the light within you. For though many eyes may watch you, only one pair of eyes defines you, the eyes of the Almighty. And when His gaze rests upon you, it is not in judgment, but in joy, declaring to heaven and earth that you belong to Him.